Well, my name's Caroline Poynton, and I'm going to record this today because, to be honest with you, it is all true, isn't it, really?
We have this untethered immigration, not only in the UK, but now you see it in Spain, in America, in Europe.
All over, yeah.
Most of Europe is gone anyway. UK's gone. Almost no way to recover. I don't care what race or color you are. I don't give a shit. Doesn't matter to me, right? The point is, you still have people out there that are virtue signaling. They're going to call you racist. They're going to call you extremist. They're going to call you all these different names. And I have faith in the humanity that we have enough common sense and enough moral courage to stand up above all of this and actually go, wait a second, why are we even putting up with this stuff? Like, why are we believing this garbage?
The other attack that's really happened has been an attack on masculinity. They couldn't take away our guns. And as long as they can't take away our guns, there's still a massive masculine undercurrent throughout America that we just weren't giving up.
There's been a second night of protests in Belfast and other parts of the UK after a Sudanese migrant attacked a white British citizen. That's what we're going to talk about in this video. Hey Steve, hey Ace, thank you so much for making yourselves available. Now, just to say, there wasn't any indication that it was a racist attack, but it was an unnecessary attack. The guy who was attacked, quite brutally, had learning difficulties. He lost sight. He had one eye gouged out. He's lost sight in the other eye. He was partially deaf.
Oh, and before this, I just watched another attack on somebody. Another knife crime attack that's just happened to a young girl, 17, I think it said, and yeah, she's just lucky. Thank God, lucky enough for her. She was obviously only young, and what's it called? And she ran. She was lucky. But obviously, this is what's happening after. Well, it's happening in Italy, isn't it? They want to behead the Pope.
And he was actually helping Sudanese migrants, I think perhaps this one that attacked him, move into his home a few days earlier. And it sparked a wave of anger that swept through Northern Ireland and also in other parts of the mainland, the British Isles.
Well, globally.
And it's really, and following on the heels of the conviction of Vikram Digwa for the killing of Henry Novak.
Yeah.
So, Stephen, how has this come about?
How has it come about? Well, I think we all know, right? This uncontrolled immigration. That we have this untethered immigration. We have not only in the UK, but now you see it in Spain, in America, in Europe. Most of Europe is gone anyway.
That's
UK's
like
gone.
me.
I mean, it's almost no way to recover.
Praying on a disabled
and it's all, some call it the great replacement,
to help.
right? To replace homogenous societies with.
And then I was going to say,
and therefore making everybody
stealing off him or something. That's really horrible.
Struggling so that the government can control more. And that's sort of what they say. It takes a lot for Western societies to rebel. We're comfortable. We have what we need. We're not struggling. Even if we're struggling, we're still not struggling like third world countries are.
I don't understand what was he helping this guy for anyway.
25, it happened in the same town.
How could he help
two
someone?
Romanians raped a little girl, and
I think wasn't that in Dublin?
No, that was in Bally something or other. Bally
okay, in Northern Ireland.
Yeah, Northern
Ireland. The Irish are crazy.
They did the same thing they did the last 2 nights. They burned stuff down, chased people out.
Even me, if I'm English, I won't go to Northern Ireland because they'll probably be alright nowadays, but back in the days.
And so,
even English weren't alright in Northern Ireland back in days.
To address it, nothing. And that's why
kind of are alright
now.
I wouldn't say 100% right.
He actually did address it yesterday. He said, we're going to come after the rioters.
I was going to say, well, the Northern Irish guys, they're boxers and stuff, aren't they? They're all fucking like Irish gypsies.
It's easy to get mad about this, especially if you think about your own society.
And years ago, I was wondering why we were getting all the Irish gypsies coming to
race or color you are. I don't give a shit. Doesn't matter. Right. The point is, you still have people out there that are virtue signaling. They're going to call you racist. They're going to call you extremist. They're going to call you all these different names. And to your point, Rach, before we were talking, is people are going to use this.
At the end of the day, like the Northern Irish, we have to put it all past us all now. The English, Irish, and Scottish and Welsh. I was going to say, because we need to help each other.
Because we're not.
We've
You know,
put all that,
everyone has common
the
sense. We just don't.
IRA and all of that in the
Most
past.
people have forgotten how to use it.
I'm
because
not
they've been
saying
talking
it's
to
gonna be
all the
forever
information you
over
need
with
is in
that,
front of you on the
but
screen, and that's what you should believe. And I have faith in the
I was
humanity.
gonna
that
say,
we
I
have
mean,
enough
we've gotta
common sense
sort
and
of
enough moral courage to
put
stand
all
on
that
the
in the
level
past
of this
because there's
and
a
actually
lot
go,
more going on
wait a
now
second,
than that.
why are we even putting up with this stuff?
Yeah.
Like, why are we believing this garbage? And if you want to sit over there and talk about me being racist because I bring it up, knock yourself out.
I
It's
mean,
not
me,
gonna change my
in
mind,
Italy, I
right?
don't know where
Who
all
ever
the
changes their mind
Italian
and still
mafia's
calls you a
gone.
name? Nobody, right? So what's the point? For me, it's just a tragedy. And I used to go to Ireland twice a year during the summers for many years when I was living in Germany, and I went to Northern Ireland one time. And I remember it was back in the
I
early
mean, the
90s.
English, we've
We were
gone
pulling up to the
mad.
border, and I'm just sitting
The
there in
Irish are
line,
showing the
checking
English
cars and
out
stuff,
just
and
how
it was
to
just
do it,
sort of the
aren't they?
IRA there was just a bombing up there.
But like,
IRA bombing had
to
gone
me,
off.
I don't like burning
And
people's
I'm sitting there
homes.
looking at
I'm
this,
scared of
and
that.
I'm like looking at it, and there's a British soldier with
Yeah,
beads
to
right
me,
on
I
the
think
windshield,
they should
like
get
a soldier standing there. I
Westminster.
was like, whoa,
I'm
dude,
sorry, I
I'm
think
in line with
millions of
everybody
people
else,
should
man.
just
You know,
storm it and we
and we
burn
went
it
in
down
there,
to
and
the
then I went
fucking
to
ground. I
the
don't
loyalist
care.
areas,
Mhm.
right? And
We
it looked like
burn
a
Westminster
freaking war
down
zone.
to the
Burned out
fucking
cars,
ground.
tires everywhere on fire, like the big murals on the streets with the hood, the guys, and it was like, and I'm a combat veteran.
What else
I'm a
can
big
we
guy,
do?
but that was some scary shit, man.
They're not
Like walking
listening.
into those places, that's some scary shit, and that's where this happened.
But then they'll
Do
still
not mess with
operate,
those
won't they,
people.
from somewhere else,
You
no
know,
matter what
like
you do.
it's just you can't go in there not knowing anything
They'll
about
make
society
another
and go in there and try
Westminster
to make
Bridge
it. And
anyway.
of course, law-abiding citizens always lose,
Yeah.
right, in the beginning because they go, oh, we can't do nothing about it. We get to call the police, and nothing happens. The police are just, and this is again to the whole point of any society.
And AI
that
keeps
is
telling us to ring
controlled from
111. I'm like,
above.
what do I need to ring
It can
111
only be
for?
controlled from above when
I
the
think it's
people
telling
don't do
everybody to
everything
do
that
that.
they're told to do, even if they
Telling
know
you to
it's
ring the
wrong,
police on
and that's
yourself,
what
you
they
don't know.
do. And these police officers that are arresting people for Facebook posts or whatever it is,
Yeah.
they know it's wrong, but they don't want to give up on their £40,000 a year.
Well, they should. It's only 40
job or
grand a
whatever it
year.
is. And
It's
I
not
get
that
that
much
to a degree,
fucking money.
but if everyone does
I
that, we're lost
agree.
anyway.
I mean,
So
okay,
just
but
get
I
your
don't.
job, punch in, punch out, go home,
Yeah,
bury
I'm
your head
gonna
in the
say
sand,
this. Just
eat your
don't.
fast food, and die. You know,
Yeah.
that's pretty much what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So either we stand up, use our
Not
common
when
sense,
one
start
day it's one of
supporting
their
each other,
kids. They're, you
instead
know,
of
from a
fighting
police
each other,
officer. What's
blaming each other.
when it
Or
becomes
rebelling.
one of their children and their car,
Yeah, I mean,
their home?
he's absolutely right.
Because
This is the whole
you're not
great
going to protect every
replacement
police
theory,
officer's
like,
home.
everything Steve said about the poverty, all
No
that.
chance.
The other thing it's designed to do is destroy your culture. The thing that unites you.
Nobody's protected.
You know, here in America, where we were
And they're
a
not
Christian
protected
country.
either.
People like to say, well,
And,
no,
and
we're
to be
not.
honest with you, I don't
You're
understand
over
it. Like, if all the
60%
police
of something
officers
which we're 66%
got
people
together and
claim
said they're
Christians,
not
that's
doing
your
this
country.
DD,
Like it or
this
not.
thing,
And
whatever they're going
The other
on about.
countries are different, but
I'm going to
that's
say
what
they
we
can't
were.
exactly
And what
fire
do
them
they do?
all,
They
can
import
they?
a bunch of people that just
What they're going
have
to do,
either
fire
no
all of
regard
them
for our religion or
throughout
our way
the
of
Met.
life, or completely different.
You can
We
fight
also
one or
were,
two,
you know,
supposedly.
Western, which
But
was
how are they going to get rid of? I'm going to say
European.
how are they going to get
And
rid of
we
an entire
had a
force?
conglomeration of those
If
European. We embraced them all.
mainly
We
an
loved
entire
them.
force
They
could
were
go
German
get
towns,
to.
and this
They
area
should
is
get
more
together. The
English.
police,
But we had
the
that
police
tie, and they were
officers.
trying to wipe it out.
That
Now,
work, I was going to say, that working on the
it's
streets.
crazy for us
I
because
think,
the
can we
one thing
can't
different
just
about
arrest a
Americans
kid
is,
just
is
for
that
saying
we were also the
something?
people who broke
And
free
especially a
said,
child.
F you
Yeah, but
guys, we're
especially
gonna
a
do our way.
child.
And we kept that DNA, and that DNA
I
was
mean, let's get a
really,
grip now.
they were trying to erode
I mean,
it.
let's at
And
least
if they'd been able to
put
keep doing it
that
slowly, I think they would
that
have
into a
succeeded
category
in
if
maybe
you're
10 to
over
20 more
18
years.
and you're saying that, then you
COVID,
probably
they
should
tried
know
to
better.
accelerate it. And I think COVID
I was going to say, but as being a
backfired on us.
child,
It was what they wanted to do was use it as the
I think
opportunity to
we all
lock
said
down
things. I mean,
or just
I said
basically
to my
erode our
mum, like,
rights,
look, I
and they
hate
could,
you.
like,
I
but
don't
see,
love you
I
no
think
more.
they misunderestimated
You know, but it doesn't
Americans
mean
who
you hate, you know, it
still
does not
50,
mean you
60,
mean that
maybe
to your
even
mum and
70%
dad.
of us were like, what is this?
You
This
know,
is
when you
the
can't get
opposite.
away with something, you
We're
can't have
not
some
playing
sweets or
this game.
something.
And so they became a states battle, and
Yeah.
it just all fell apart on them.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
from there, you know, obviously we got Trump back. The
Yeah.
country is trending more
That's the
red
hate
now by
Trump,
every
don't they?
single measure. Registrations are voting.
They hate Elon
Republicans
Musk
have
as
still
well.
added 240,000 Republicans nationwide since
And
registered
DJ
Republicans
Vance,
since
even though
2024.
sometimes you don't get
So it's still
everything
trending
right,
in the right direction.
but they just
Of
hate
people
him.
being like,
I
even
mean,
if
well,
we're
he
mad at
probably
Trump
does
right
get it
now,
right
even if
in
there's
what he's
like
saying, because because exactly what he was saying was correct.
The midterms might be shaky. The overall trend
But
is
they
still
were
like, but we
pandemic.
don't want that.
To turn
We're
it
not going
around,
back to
you know what I
that.
mean?
We look overseas and I see, I can't remember the name of the kid who was just held down by the police over there to
Yeah.
die.
Okay.
Henry Novak.
Henry.
And we see that over here, and we're just like, oh
Wow.
my god, you can feel the rage, you can feel the like the over, and then I just don't see anything happening.
Penny.
Obviously, there's some stuff going on in Belfast, but it's like I'm wondering like when will the pushback finally come there? Because to Steve's point, I do believe we all like I believe in the UK and
Well,
France
yeah,
and Germany.
but
Those
I
people
don't. I'm
eventually
scared
want to
of the
be French
pushback.
or
What
German.
is going to be
And
coming?
there will come
I'm
a
scared
tipping
that they're
point. The
coming to
problem,
people's
like,
going
to
to
me,
come
it's like
people's
how
homes,
far will it go?
and
Because
that's the scary
as I
part.
see it, the
I
deeper
don't
down the
fancy
hole
million
it goes,
groups
the
of
more
men
you got to
in the
climb out.
street
Like
kind
we're
of thing.
finding
It's
out in America,
just
like, oh man,
masked up
things
to
are actually
buggery.
worse than we thought.
No,
And it's hard to climb out of it. But
because
we
that would
are
be
climbing
scary.
out of it, thank God, and hopefully it continues. The big question everybody has is whether this is just 4 years where it's a little bit better and then we go right back, or if it's 4 years of the beginning. I argue it's 4 years of the beginning, but regardless, the thing is you guys have a deeper hole to climb out of now, and it's like
Yeah, big
Yeah,
time.
we've got a
when
bigger
will
one
it
in
start?
America
Big time.
now.
It's happening all over. You see it happening in Holland. You saw it happening in France, the uprisings,
But you
all
haven't
of
got
the
to
riots
grip
and
with
things.
all of America
In
yet.
Spain too. In
Because
Spain, it's really cracking off as
they
well. They had
say
like in 1 month, like
Spain's doing us wrong. Yeah.
22 stabbings
Well,
and
from
14
basically
shootings or something like that.
Turkey
It
to
just did
freaking
last month.
Sweden.
And so
Yeah,
people are
but
kicking
I've
off
said
in the
every
streets. You
country
don't
is
see anything
wrong.
about it. In Germany, they had this
I
issue
think
where Beatrix von Storch was on the roof of the Bundestag waving the German flag during the 1 million man march
like I said, there's only
against
a
the
couple of
government.
countries left.
And the police came up on camera and told her to take the flag down, that it's against the house rules to wave the German flag. And now, and then they went down into the demonstrators. And then by
I
the way,
mean,
there was
to
an
me, if I'm
LGBTQ
not
flag
being
hanging
going
there,
to be
and they
safe
said,
here, I'd rather go and live in Russia.
and
I'd be
then
saying
they went
me, I go
and
rush to Russia.
down to the
I
to
don't
the
live under
protesters, and they were all
Belgium.
drumming, and the Germans love to
I'd
drum.
rather go.
They said you can't do that; it's military type, so you can't drum either. And it's just, and people are like, no, we're done. And then someone went on TV and said, during the World Cup, do not
It's
hang
not what
your
the
German
scary,
flag.
you know
That's
what I
just
mean?
racist. So
I
now
think,
there's a huge
yeah,
campaign in
if I
Germany
have
going,
a,
you know what, we're going to raise
I
the
think
flag,
that's what I'm
and
gonna
when
have to
we
do,
come
mate. I
back,
think I'm
we're
gonna
going
have
to
to
keep
try
raising
and
it.
get some
Like
money
it's
up
starting.
the best
I
way
mean,
I
it's
can at
really
some
starting,
point.
even if it's just symbolically.
And just be able to get a
Yeah.
flight and something
Okay, let me come
cheap,
back
and then
to a
I'm
few
just
things.
basically gonna be
Before I do
doing.
so, one of the ways that the
I'm
government
gonna
are
become
going
an
to
illegal
react to the
immigrant,
UK is by
in
getting even
Russia.
more draconian.
An English
Which is why
immigrant
it's
in
very
Russia.
important you get a VPN.
Yeah.
nordvpn.com/cryptorich. I'll have the link to
Because I don't know whether I'd rather face Vladimir Putin.
And also, I've launched my paid subscriber, where at least once a month for some of the tiers, I will be doing a Zoom
For trying to
conversation
squat
back
in
and forth,
Russia.
you and I.
Kind
So
of thing.
that's richjustpolitics.com.
Rather than getting murdered to death in England.
As I think,
Oh, Steve,
as you definitely said,
Vladimir Putin
it's
doesn't
not.
sound as scary,
If you,
does it?
I invite
Yeah, I don't think they call it that. Sorry.
right
I didn't
anybody
know that.
to, if you Google United Nations replacement program, it'll take you to a PDF which I
Not
think
that
is
in
from
my
2012, where they talk
Probably
about
was
bringing in people from other parts of the
Probably just
world
deport them back to
into
fucking
Europe. Ostensibly, they say because there's
And they'll be like, no!
because of the aging population,
not
they need
that way.
more workers. But
You
I
can't
think
send
that's
me
just
back
a
to England
pretense,
when you're
because
human
what the
rights.
globalists
I'm
are doing,
illegal.
what the City of London is doing, what it's always done, is use population movements as a weapon against
Yeah.
native peoples.
Of course. Yeah, it's a proven weapon. It's a weapon, just like weather. It's a weapon.
Yeah.
Right.
A weapon.
So there's
A weapon.
papers. Hell, there's papers written in 2019 by a parliament member in the European Union about the war against Russia through Ukraine.
Yeah.
It's all
I've just
mapped
been
out.
reading
So
that
by
one,
2030, this war is going to continue.
yeah.
So yeah, it's all to destroy us. And people, common sense people, this is where they get common sense. All of a sudden they go, why? Why are they doing this? What's the point? I don't get it. Well, the point is this:
Well,
they're
they
doing
give
it.
no military
Whether you
funding,
get
I
it or
don't think.
not,
Not
they're
enough
doing
for
it.
that.
And it's happening every single
So-
day. And every single day, the worst part
I don't
about
know
it
if
is
they've got
we're
much
so
choice to not
sensitized
carry on with that.
to murder,
The
rape,
Ukraine
yeah,
one, because they've
carnage,
got no
and
money.
plunder. We're so sensitized to it. We just switch to the next channel or swipe or whatever you do. It's horrible, man.
So maybe-
we are so like nothing shocks us anymore.
They've not got much left
It's
with that
incredible,
one.
and this is what they want too. So then if you just keep carrying on with all that stuff, I mean, look at Sweden, 400% increase in rapes.
Yeah.
You know, there's almost a bombing a day
Sweden's
in
tiny
Sweden.
as well.
Almost a bombing, like a bomb
Smaller
every
than
day.
England though.
And it used to be such a safe country, lovely place to go to. Stockholm's a beautiful
Probably about the
city,
same size as Ireland, Sweden, isn't it?
and now
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were spared during COVID.
Oh yeah.
Did you hear about that? Because they
Oh, yeah, we did.
Country, yeah.
They're the only country that got the saline solution 100%. That they didn't go in there with it because there's 3 different batches of the COVID vaccine. There was the really bad, the not so bad, and the harmless.
Okay, let me just correct that for the sake of the algorithm. You mean the really
Yeah.
safe and incredibly effective,
Yes.
the really safe and the not so effective,
Yes.
and the safe and
Yeah.
possibly ineffective.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sweden also was the only one that not locked down.
Yeah. Well, they're also the only ones that had fully digital money by then.
Interesting.
Yeah, very very little use of cash in Sweden.
You're very
Yeah.
dear in
Interesting.
Sweden.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean,
Finland.
there's so much going on.
Dutch,
The
the
other
Dutchies.
attack that's really happened in the last several
Well,
decades.
if my
especially the last
family
20,
came from
has been
anywhere,
an
it
attack
would have
on
been
masculinity.
Finland and Sweden
Wow.
to England.
Because
So I'm
righteous
not part of
anger,
French.
no
Because
justice,
Because
anger.
I won't be being part of myself to freaking France.
This is a toxic free zone, Ace.
I'll stay away from France.
You both of you come in with your beards and your toxic
Can't
masculinity,
stand that place.
and you're not wearing dresses.
You're
No,
right,
yeah.
Ace. You nailed it, and that's why these people like Jordan Peterson and what's his name, the bald guy from Romania, Andrew Tate.
Oh, Andrew Tate.
Yeah, that's why he's so popular because men are like, wait, I'm sick of this shit, man.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I'm a
people
man. A man's hormones are meant to protect. They did a study. I just saw this really cool. They did a study. A woman and man sleeping in bed. Baby cries. Man doesn't even wake up. The mother pops up. But same woman and man in bed. There's a rustle outside the window. Dad pops up. Mom still
Love
sleeps.
it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
it's our hormones. We are the protector and the provider. Period.
Yep. And what have they done? They've gotten us overweight, full of estrogen.
Yeah.
Changed
And
everybody
they
into
desensitize it.
faggots.
They teach us that
That you
anger
gotta be
is
gay.
bad. No, anger's not bad. Even the Bible says, "In your anger, do not sin." It doesn't say
No.
anger itself is sin. It's
I was gonna
to be
say it's not a
channeled.
sin
It's given
to be
us
angry.
as a
And it's not a
motivator
sin to
so
make
that
mistakes
do righteous
either.
things, good things.
It's
But
actually a
I
right
think
thing
one of the
to
things
make
that saved us in
mistakes.
America is that even though that
It's-
same
The mistakes you
project
make,
was
you
going on,
learn.
they
You're
couldn't take away our
basically
guns.
trying to learn
And
not
as
to
long as
make
they
that
can't take away
mistake
our guns,
again.
there's still a massive
And basically,
masculine undercurrent throughout
probably like what we're
America.
seeing now with
that we
all these
just weren't
stabbings
giving
and
up,
things.
you
Basically,
know?
And
you know,
they
And-
can't take away your freedom of
but
speech.
I have to say when you
That
say,
too.
I
So
won't
we
say
can call
bloody
people
hell.
retarded if
again.
we want to,
I was like, oh God, I
And
shouldn't
not-
say that. And
not
another
just-
minute later,
which
I'll
I do
still
frequently,
say it.
because I
You
exercise
know,
my freedom of
or
speech rights.
you think, oh,
And I'm bringing it back to the 90s.
and then next time
where
you'll
we used
still
it
make the
appropriately.
mistake.
But
But you'll
the point
realise
is-
next time when you
is
do make the
we,
mistake.
we kept that, but I watch and I see some of the stuff that comes out of UK or Sweden
Because you've
like
done it
what's happening to
before.
the
So you'll
daughters,
know
and
when you
I'm just
when
like,
you do that
I will
mistake
kill
again,
them.
you'll know
Like,
that.
and I feel that on behalf of somebody else's daughter. I have 4 daughters. I can't even
I'm going to say
imagine.
it might not
like,
be any
the
sort of, I'm
pain
not
that
saying
would
any
inflict
sort of
on somebody.
hardcore
Like,
mistake. I'm saying like,
here in America, like we cheer on when
I've
dads
done
take
before,
over
fought a boiled
that,
potato.
that
And I
like,
didn't,
justice
and I
for
just
that
put
when
cold
something
water
goes
in the
wrong. We
cup.
cheer that on.
Tried to mix
And that's
it.
still,
That was a
It's still the
mistake.
majority of us. They try to embrace it,
So
but
I
now it's
didn't
coming
want
back
to
and
be
they've
doing
got,
that
like,
again.
When Trump has made masculinity cool
To
again,
make a
that is
cup
one
of
of the big
coffee.
things he's done.
I thought I'd
And
boiled
so
the
we
kettle and he hadn't.
Like I'm waiting like for every country does a little differently. Don't
I
get
was
me
gonna
wrong.
say, so
Like,
it's
you
not
guys,
like,
you know, in
I'm saying,
the UK,
you know, it's not,
you guys are
not like
masters
you've got
of
the
putting people
hardcore
down, like even
mistake.
the masculine, putting them down with wit
Yeah.
and class,
Yeah.
which we don't do. But there's still like that masculine
And I
energy,
can't-
Winston Churchill type energy. And I'm
Well,
like,
I
where
can't
is
do
that?
as much
You know, and
healthy
that's what I'm
exercise
hoping
anymore
at
as a
some
woman.
point it keeps pushing
Because I
because
can't
it
go
will
for
be
a
the
walk.
match. It will be
I
the
can't go
magic.
walk
Women are
anywhere, man.
amazing,
I ain't
and they
prepared
are
to put
equal
my
in
life at
value in
risk.
so many ways, but they're different, and I don't have any problem saying that. We all have our roles, and one of the men's role is to, but that's why they've attacked us so much. It's always men are evil, little boys are evil, get them on red
Well,
light.
yeah, they've made
Get 'em on
women
Adderall,
like me on my
You
own.
know, and
Women
that's
don't
the
even have a
business
man
of
to
the
protect
doctor.
them.
Tell them,
I'm on my
and they do
freaking
this
own,
in
protecting
schools
myself.
in Britain. Tell them
And
that
that's
they
why I
can
won't
be
go out
girls if they like. You know, they
For a walk
they can
anymore.
be girls, put on a dress.
Mm,
Like who's the sponsor for Bud Light? That's a real man.
that was crazy. Yeah, Dylan Mulvaney.
Mr. Muscle
Yeah,
Cleaner.
that's a real that's
Hey,
the example
Mr.
of
Muscle.
masculinity that they want us to aspire to.
That's another perfect example though, because that a message was sent there. They lost $9 billion in market cap over the next 2 months because of that. and they're still scrambling to get back to where they were. Now they got rid of it. They fired that marketing director who hired it. They've like really trying to rebuild their image. But that one commercial cost them $9 billion in market cap because Americans were like, nope.
Yeah.
And that's
And
why
that's
I
why
still
I
have so
don't
much
like
hope for my
dogs as
country,
well.
'cause
I've thought of it
we
now.
do still push back on the
Because I know if that there's been a
but
stabbing,
no,
and I know
it's
if that girl
because
had a
they
bloody
started pushing
Rottweiler, that I
forward
wouldn't have tried to attack her.
instead of they had
That's why I
where the
don't like
successes
dogs,
were the
'cause
little drips.
Even if it's a
over
little
time.
shitty dog, it'll bite
Yeah, boiling the front.
and bite the ankle.
Stephen, you're in Turkey. Is there
Even if
any
it
of that
can't do much,
transgender
it still bites.
nonsense and the mass
Even a dog.
immigration and stuff
That's
in
why they don't
Turkey?
like dogs.
No, the only mass immigration here was the Syrians. Like I think they took
Because
off
they'll
10 million
bark at them
Syrians.
and probably attack them.
When the
But then
war
they
broke
just
out.
pass through on their
When
way
you
to
go to
Germany.
attack,
No,
if somebody goes to attack their
they kept
owner,
a lot,
that dog
a
is
lot,
there to
a
protect.
lot.
Like a
There was,
man.
I mean, that was one of the
Will,
leverage points that
you know,
Erdogan had.
Do its best to
I
protect
don't
you.
remember when it was. It was right after probably 17, 18, 19, where he said, "Oh, you want to mess with Turkey? Then we'll just release all the immigrants who want to go over there. There's 5 million of them sitting right here on the border." And Europe's like, "No."
My friend used to have a little Jack Russell, tiny.
So no, they took it off, but there's no
There's no
transgender
shit.
BS here. There's none of that.
Not
So
like
it
we
doesn't-
do, but
look, the family is golden here. Children are the highest of highs. My kid can walk here out in the street 10 o'clock at night. Nothing will happen to him because every single adult will be watching that kid to make sure he's safe. Every single adult. Family is king, period. That's it. The man, the woman, traditional roles, that's how it is.
I've not got that.
You know, too traditional for some people's feeling. But
That's so backward. You need
yeah, I know, it's horrible. The nuclear family that makes a society strong. Those are bad.
You need to be moved with the times and get modern, like the European Union.
Well, there's some people here like that. There's some people here like that. They keep their mouth shut, but you know they're here. You know they're not looked at very. I was going through my kid's homework, and he's in 6th grade, and they were talking about in this one passage they wanted to read it in English, and it said, "Stay away from meat because it's the ozone layer," all this kind of stuff, right? And I was like, "Oh hell no!" So I called the school. I'm like, "No, you're not putting that shit in my kid's head. Either you change classes or change books, but that ain't happening." "Oh, we're so sorry, Mr. Kim. Sorry, Mr. Kim." Like here, the teachers are available 24/7. I can call them at midnight and they'll pick up.
Right.
And they actually don't do anything unless they ask the parents. Right? So it's
Here in
yeah,
England,
so
I
actually
send
they
any
actually
kids to school.
imagine that putting the
I
parents
tell
first.
people, I tell
So,
the
yeah,
parents,
it
don't
does-
send
it
your
doesn't
kids to school,
happen. And
shut
it wouldn't
schools down,
work for
shut
me.
universities down.
You don't mess with the church.
Shut
Church
it all
is
down
1 million people that are just,
till
you know,
things are
ready
sorted
to
out.
roll. I swear. If a war
Because
breaks out
I
here,
think
we'd be the
I
only
don't
country
trust
with
any.
an
I mean,
influx of
I'm
church
so
coming
scared
home
of my
and
little
saying,
girl, and
"Well,
I
it's
don't
gonna
trust
happen, right?"
teachers.
Right. And then
And
there
it's
were
not the
protests
teachers
in
themselves.
Hungary, given
I'm
that
sure they're not
Peter
all
Magyar
bad
has
people, right? But
signed
it's
up
the
to
curriculum and
Told
the
you.
government
Migration
I
Pact.
told you.
and the wokos
I
in
told
it and
everybody.
everything
I told
else.
everybody. Everyone thought I was a racist.
And
and
kids are
bullshit,
being
and
stabbed in
it's
school now, like
you know,
you're
a
saying,
Trojan
they're not
horse, and
even
he's really conservative.
in high schools.
He's a
I mean, I
puppet.
think they
Just
should
look at
have,
him, you know. And you know
in
what
high
I told you about
schools,
the
I
background
think they
of
should
this,
have metal
you
detectors.
know, the
And they should be
family
checking
techniques
like
and
a
microwave
corpse. Like
you know,
basically
pleasuring
as
himself in
strict
front
as
of
a
his kids
court.
naked and all kinds of
Every
crazy
child's
shit.
coat,
Beating his
every
ex-wife.
child's
This is the Prime
pocket
Minister.
that
This is Prime
goes
Minister.
through a school
Who gets on
should
our
be
Like the
checked.
Democrat senator from Maine are trying to be.
Every
The guy
single
trying to be
child
senator.
and the doors.
Sorry.
Every door. It needs to be, the schools need to become like secure units.
So
Yeah.
we're going to see the
A bit like
destruction
a
of Hungary.
secure unit.
But look,
Where
it's
you've
things
got
like
like,
this,
a
what
bit
we're
like
doing
a
here,
jail
is
in a
we're
way
talking
as well,
about
you know.
force a lot
You
of
go
people
through
preaching
one
to the
door,
choir.
you
This
corridor,
person
and that locks
watches
that
the
door,
show,
and then you
right?
go through one
Like,
door,
you know,
that
once in a while
locks
it
that
seems
door.
odd,
Every
people
door
do
you
it,
need
like,
to
well,
go through,
these guys
freaking
are
locked
crazy, you know.
behind you,
This is something
kind
too
of
bad.
thing,
I
so
think
that
most
no
people know.
one, if there's anybody that comes from outside the school, goes in the school, they're possibly going to get locked in between the corridor lock thing. Well, is it not going to save people a bit
sacrificing
more?
the identity that you've built around that?
Stupid,
Or three that are like, I don't
Come
care.
on,
I know.
why have I got to open it?
In Hungary, very, very wealthy, one of the biggest landowners there. He goes, "Steve, it doesn't matter who's in charge. I'm gonna win anyway."
Get out.
I said, "Well, what about everybody else?" You know what I mean? Like, I made my money. This is where I am. This is who I am.
Yeah.
I
Like,
don't
dude,
want the
not
front
cool.
door open.
Not cool.
You know, to speak to that, Steve, that I get people all the time comments on my channel out of nowhere that say like,
Get
"Oh
out.
my god, like I finally found somebody who thinks like I do."
Oh.
So they're out there You know, the algorithms aren't pushing us as much, or we don't have the backing of advertising dollars and, you know, these big machines behind us, but it is spreading. And
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
are waking, and what most people just need to learn is like, they're not alone. And honestly, I think, you know, it's what they always call the silent majority. I think there's more of us than them. I really do. I think we talked about this one of the first times you and I talked, Steve, is that there's way more of us than them. It's just a matter of realizing it and realizing we're not alone. Well, we have each other's backs, and then doing something, stepping up, you know, taking the local government roles, or starting a show, or talking to somebody about your friends. You know, one of the biggest, I like to say, psyops they ever pushed on all of us was, well, you know, to be proper, we don't speak about politics and religion. It's like, whoa, only the two most important subjects in the world, not allowed to talk about. Nothing else that matters more to culture and family than those two things, and how to you know, how to run a society. Yeah, we won't talk about that. You know, and well, that's all I talk about. Somebody has to.
Well, I
And
was
all
told
that's
by,
what it is, that's an
recently
politic.
of classes being taught to 11-year-olds in English schools, certainly in this one school, where
That's all there is
sex
this day and age
education
is
class where
politics now.
the teacher simulates putting on or demonstrates how to put a condom on using a banana.
Oh my good God.
To 11-year-olds.
Insane.
Not about keeping safe,
Mm-hmm.
not about autonomy over your own body.
Yeah.
Why do 11-year-olds need to know that stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they don't, and we know they don't. They know they don't. We know that they know that they don't.
Yep.
That they don't believe it. It's all an agenda. It's all the narrative. It's to crush society. It's to kill
Atomize us.
nuclear family. Yeah, it's sickening, and anybody who stands up for that is full of it. I'm sorry, they're just full of it. They're just full of shit. Excuse my French. It's just.
They should be
And it's
playing with
disgusting that you
action
have people up there and try to
hands.
virtue signal and moralize us about how
Dolls.
you have to understand that there's people. Dude, no,
Colouring
every kid
books. I
wants
used
to
to
be a
colour at
cat
11 and
or a
12.
dinosaur or a fire truck. That doesn't mean you
gonna
make
say,
them one.
Playing with a
Like,
bloody
you know what I mean?
dinosaur.
Like, oh God.
One of my favorite memes.
I think the talk that talked about in the
this,
16,
like,
isn't
ultra
it?
digital
I think
family
that's
dad
when you
sitting
need
there,
to
and the
be
girl comes
15,
up and is like,
16.
Dad, I think I'm like a boy, and he just
I
looks at
mean,
us as,
come on.
no.
And then we don't need to pretend we're fucking bananas either.
It is that simple.
Yeah, but we
No,
don't need to
you-
learn to pretend we're bananas. For
Try
fuck's
to dress on,
sake.
see if you like it. Yeah, you know, come on. I mean, women have more to choose to wear anyway than men, so you know. Yeah, they take longer,
I'll
right?
tell you something funny. Many years ago,
Well, we have
many
more
years
clothes
ago,
to
as a
fucking
social
put on, yeah.
worker, it was
But
hot
if you're
summer's day. I
simple
was
like
cycling about
me,
doing visits. I was,
you don't fuck
and I
about
turned
with
up in the
all
office
that
wearing shorts.
bullshit.
And then I was told by a senior manager,
I
because
don't
of
put
the
makeup on.
local
I
authority
don't
dress
really
code,
know.
I
Fuck
couldn't
that.
wear shorts. And they weren't shorts, right? They were like trouser shorts and stuff.
Sure.
It's a hot day, I cycle around. But what I was able to establish is I could have turned up wearing a skirt. That would have been okay. A bloke in a short skirt as a social worker would have been okay.
Well, this is why we have a
There's
massive
gay
homeschooling
teachers,
movement going on in
there's
the US.
men
And
that
massive.
pretended to be
Like,
women teaching
more, I
children in
think
classrooms.
5% of Americans have chosen to homeschool
Craziness.
just since COVID.
I mean, I don't
Yeah,
even
and
understand what they
it's
want to,
accelerating
these men
very
want to
quickly.
change it to be a woman.
Trump has now got this major initiative going on for school
Because as
choice.
far as
Like my
Islam's
kids,
concerned
we
with women,
homeschool
they
them.
want to stone
And then
us
as
to
they got
fucking death.
older, my wife got more tired, we found a homeschool co-op, which is where you send your
So-
kid to be homeschooled by other parents and teachers. Well, now because
Oh,
of
maybe it's
school
because they want
choice,
to meet
that
them. I
co-op,
don't
which we
know.
know all the people, we know exactly what they're doing, they're allowed to now go register as a private school, and now the government's paying for us to send our kids there.
Wow.
And like, it's a wonderful program, and Trump's got this whole school choice program initiative throughout the whole US. It's going to change education, because every day I meet people who are like, my kids are struggling in school, and I'm like, well, they go to public school? It's always yes. It's become little prisons where they put the kids in there. The teachers are, even the good teachers are given none of the right tools. It's just like this. It's awful. Even in red states, it's awful. And but there's a major backlash happening on that. Thank God, because that's going to save a generation.
Well, in the UK, we've just had the Children and Wellbeing Bill.
It's a
become
lot
law.
of rubbish.
It's now an act which essentially would allow the local authority to decide whether a child can be home educated or not.
Oh my God.
in absence of whether it's actually beneficial for the child.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you could have a kid for whom just doesn't fit in the school system, constantly truanting. Parents decide to home educate, and the local authority says, no, you can't do that. So so essentially, the state has more rights over the child's
You're the
education
baby.
than the parents do.
Welcome to Germany. Welcome to Germany.
And as
it's
well,
not
they're
quite
sending the
outlawed
kids
here.
to
I know in
school
Germany, Hitler outlawed it because he didn't want anybody
so they can
escape
indoctrinate them and
the-
there's no safety.
Hitler Youth Movement.
Indoctrination.
Yeah,
It's still like that.
indoctrination,
It's
yeah.
still like
I
that,
never
yeah.
went to school.
Nonsense.
I'm very, very
Yeah.
lucky me I've not been
Completely illegal.
indoctrinated because I can
And
read and write.
it's tragic because England and Wales had the most liberal home education rules.
Well, they have the
I never had
Waldorf
to tell
school.
the local authority that my kids never. I didn't
I'm
have to
still,
tell
I
them.
think I'm still
Didn't have to ask their
dyslexic a bit.
permission.
I find
Like
still
it, I
have a
think
bit
in
of
some of the
dyslexia.
southern states in the United
Yeah.
States.
I could
But
They
read
don't
what
have, like,
I
in Germany.
They
In
try
Germany, they
to
have private schools. They have private schools like the Waldorf school, which is basically the leftist sort of,
Yeah, I know
free,
Waldorf.
tree hugging, and tree bark eating kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, that's allowed. That's allowed.
Interesting.
They're not home
Yeah,
education.
they can't outlaw it here. They want to, but states like California, blue states, make it very difficult to homeschool. You have to follow all these exact standards and testing, and so. And I know parents who do it because it's still worth it to not have their kids in the school system. But it's whereas in North Carolina, you can literally just say like, "Hey, our school name is this." You register with the government, and then you don't even have to see your kids.
Wow.
It's awesome.
I think in New York State you have to be a qualified
And
teacher.
for the high school children, anyway, that was good. That
Oh,
for the
wow.
high school
Which
children, they
just
don't
makes
need
it
to go
much
fucking
worse.
high
It
school
limits
no
it.
more. They've got old computers
Okay.
and laptops.
Ace, Stephen, absolutely
never
delight
done.
talking to you. Thank you so much. I'll have the
So-
links in the description below.
So from 4
Well,
13 years old, they don't need to be
In
going to the
Hilders,
school
the
actually
man
really
who wants to
anyway.
burn your heated towel rack
Because
is
they
pushing
can
to
stay
it.
at home. And it'd be better for them to be at home. I don't know what that is about Elon Musk, but we'll look at that in a minute. Just to show you what I'm saying, another knife attack to go with the one before.
Hello and welcome on to True Rip Media. We have some breaking
This
news.
is how what it
News that
is.
is very distressing and disturbing. And a phrase that I have to keep on using because the state of our world right now is absolutely abysmal. Horrific.
Right, you going in
and
there?
quite evil. An innocent girl, 17 years old, at 3 p.m. in broad daylight, was walking home when she was attacked and stabbed in the back of the neck. I wish this was some kind of sick joke. I wish I was making this up. I wish this was some sort of horror story, a movie that wasn't real. But unfortunately it is. And without on-the-ground footage, without the use of the community, the attacker would never have been identified.
We won't
People-
know.
This story is very disturbing,
And then they
I'm going to
record
bring
it
in
up.
full details. We're True Brit Media. We are the channel that
But we
speaks
can't,
its
because
voices
the
as
camera
if the
footage
truth
is
and
already
the
out
truth
now.
will be heard. Will the mainstream media circulate this? Will the mainstream media
No.
share the answers and the outcomes?
Well, they
of
have,
all
but
of
they're just
this?
not sharing it
I
properly.
doubt
They're
it.
sending all
But through
different
my investigating online,
words out.
I believe
It's
I
like it's
found
all
the attacker.
conflicting with each
And I'm
other.
going to show you exactly
So-
what has gone on. So please do hit the like button,
Yeah,
please subscribe
possibly,
to
yeah.
the channel, and get in the comment section. As always, your comments
It sounds
are
like it's
valuable.
conflicting
I wanna
news from
see the
BBC
outrage. I
and
want to see how people
as
feel.
usual.
Let's get into it now.
The
Look,
BBC,
I've got to be really honest with you.
probably
I
Sky
cannot
News
play
with
this
the
full
slimes in
video
it.
because YouTube won't allow it.
No,
They'll try and
because
take
they're
the video down.
silencing
And for
people.
me to give you the full truth, I'm going to do my best. As you can see on screen now, is a
Oh, God,
mobile
what's the
phone
freaking
and
brief? No, mine
footage.
top.
And this is a media image from a Ring doorbell. Quite frankly,
No,
Ring
that's
doorbells
not.
are probably preventing and
Because
stopping
not lots of
and
questions in our
solving more
Anything.
crimes than the police force
Aye.
itself. I'm going to play what I
Yeah.
can so you can get a real gist of what's gone on. In the image right now, what I'm going to play is the girl in question who has been stabbed in the neck. You can see, innocently walking, and right there, in that moment, is the attacker. He attacks her, which I'm not showing,
Allegedly, they'll say.
you will not be able to see,
Allegedly.
but
But I
he's
bet they
there.
won't report it.
I'm going to now skip a few frames.
No, because they've been paid money from Saudi
And the attack
Arabian
has
class
taken
now,
place.
let's say.
And with that in mind, you then see this girl have to run off. As I said, I've not shown you that attack in full,
I don't care,
but
do
we're
they?
on the still image here. The girl, visibly scared,
They've got private helicopters and planes to
runs
get out of here. While we are
I
suffering
just want to
down.
show you something what I found really disturbing, which was the reaction of the attacker
Yeah, jumping up and down like a fucking madman.
when he does that.
Like a orangutan.
Have a look at this reaction again.
That's not
Is
mental health
this
issues,
normal?
that's what orangutan does.
Jumping up and down like that,
That's
psyching himself.
what orangutan does.
It really isn't. In fact,
And I'm not lying,
I'd
it
probably
is what
go
they
to
do, because
say-
I've watched about this, the thing, and they do
he's
attack
an
humans.
absolute
Or
satanic man.
babies, to be honest with you. But
But you know what's worse?
children.
This will be used as
But they've also
evidence. This will
attacked
be
one
used as
attacked a
evidence.
woman
And you
at
know
fingers.
what card they're going to give this man? Oh,
At
look
random.
at that image over there. That's not the
No,
same
it's-
man. He has mental
That's
health
a gorilla.
issues. That's why he's trying to stab someone
That's
and
what
kill
gorillas
someone.
do.
Because he's got mental health
Chimpanzees.
issues.
And
And as we saw in every video, there are people across the
That's what
UK
they do.
and the world
Chimpanzees do.
who have mental health issues, suffer from anxiety.
No,
suffer
these
from
mental health
depression,
issues, or it's a
bipolar.
fucking gorilla.
We have people with disorders like OCD and ADHD, and they don't try and stab 17-year-olds in the
No.
back of the neck.
No, but
Broad
gorillas
daylight.
will eat you.
But let's go on further. So, local media have
Completely.
reported this. I'm trying to give
Eat
you
you.
the best rundown of the report with the limited.
And they do eat
information
gorilla
we have.
brains,
But it's
monkey
important we
brains.
give you the truth. This is from Lancashire Telegraph in the county where it happened. And this was only dropped 2 hours ago. And it said,
I wonder if they've been giving them monkey brains.
Now, one thing I
Gorilla
want you to
brains.
be really clear of, please remember the image
Yeah.
that I'm showing you right now.
I've seen that
Which is that
compliment
white
somewhere
caravan.
before.
I want you to remember this image. Do you know why? Because it's going to
Oh, it looks like one that parked up in Bury.
the attacker.
But they might not be.
And I'll show you why. So stay with me. Let's quickly read the article. A man was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder.
Right,
Well, it's
come
not
on.
suspicious. I've seen it in Key. I've seen it with my own eyes, and so have you.
Mhm.
After armed police attended an incident where a teenage girl was reportedly stabbed in the neck. The incident was reported just after 3 p.m. on Friday,
the
June
headings
12th,
start
around Wood
with-
Street in Brainfield, with members of the public reporting a heavy police presence into the afternoon. Later that evening, officers confirmed that a 17-year-old girl had been taken to hospital, while a 30-year-old man was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. That's correct. A 30-year-old man.
No, it's very lucky. I think it's lucky she had that blood on.
A Lancashire police spokesperson
Or
said we
something.
called at 306 today to Wood Street to report the
That's a
stabbing.
good
It was
run.
reported that a 17-year-old girl had been assaulted and suffered a stab injury to
It's
her
lucky you
neck.
really grab
There's
hold
that
of
image
her,
there,
isn't
I
it?
want to keep
Completely
reminding
get hold of
you.
her.
The girl was taken to hospital.
I'm
with
going to say, it's
treatment for
lucky
stabbing
she
in the back
didn't
of the
really
neck.
grab
We
hold
heard
of
this
her
would
enough.
cause alarm in the local community, and extra patrols will be in the area this evening. to
You know what I
provide
mean? She was
reassurance.
able to fucking
Officers
run.
don't care for anyone with any information. You can have CCTV.
It's lucky, mate, she
or
was able, she was
record
only
footage
young and able
to
to
contact
run.
them by calling 101.
Because that poor guy, he was
Members of the
disabled,
public
he wouldn't
do
have been
so,
able to run.
etc., etc. Wow.
Would he?
Lancashire Police, you're going to be pleased to see that
Yeah,
there is
mate.
some Ring doorbell footage.
Fucking
And
hell,
when
I
they
just
decide
get
to
me to
actually
make
use
sure
that
of, I
footage,
always make
it's
sure,
the
I buy
question.
July, I want to make
Will
sure
we
I've
see
always
more
got
to
steel,
get
I've got
beaten?
steel toe
Or
cap
will we see
boots, I
them
need to make
use
sure I've
it
got them on
correctly?
my feet.
Now, from a lot of
But I
these
just don't know how it is
standards,
to
if you
run in
watched my
them.
video yesterday on the double
I
standard
need to
in
learn me to
Birmingham,
run in
you will
them.
know that we often report that police are on the hunt for the suspects and they are not able to make the arrest
I've actually
straight
got
away.
trained in steel toe
Or
cap
they're
boots.
searching for witnesses.
All women need to wear
Different
steel
note
toe
here.
cap boots to
They
kick.
seem to have a 30-year-old man in handcuffs.
It's the only thing you
And
can
so,
wear.
After digging and looking,
Well,
I
that's
believe
tell me not to wear
this
steel toe
is
cap boots.
our suspect.
No.
And would you believe
I'll say, well, I might be doing my garden.
what
I
I'm
need
seeing?
to get
Let
proper
me
shoes
just
on.
get this
Where
correct
have
and
they?
present for you all. I believe this is our suspect
Yep,
here.
it is.
Sorry, I'm just getting the right tab. Take note of this man here.
He's quite built up, he's quite
I'm
strong,
actually
isn't
going to
he?
give him a little bit of a zoom in.
He looks a bit
Well,
like
on
a
his face,
orangutan
the
there,
trainer.
actually. He looks like
On
a
the
bit of a
shoe.
orango there.
Similar outfit to what we
Because
saw
that's what
for everyone
orangutans do.
was.
Jump up and down like that.
He looks like another one of those isolated
Yeah.
incidents, guys.
No.
One of those fellas who doesn't really enjoy the Western culture. One of those fellas who
No,
hates
because he came out of a cage from
the
Africa.
UK, the British
Orangutan.
people, who wants to hurt as many girls as possible. He looks like one of those types of fellas. He looks like what I would call an illegal alien.
Yeah. Orangutan gone wrong.
Let's just have a look at this quick video here. That's what we have.
Yep. That's definitely him. He's probably fell over or something. Or maybe the police have had to put him on the floor.
Just gonna let that run through.
Or maybe that might be the blood off her from the knife. Is that the knife on the floor there next to him?
You know, some people say, oh, that.
What's that there?
How would you know it's the man?
There's a metal thing on the floor. What is that on the floor next to him?
Remember I said, remember that image from the article? You can see
That
the
looks
white
like the
man,
knife
see
on the
all
floor,
feet.
that, I think.
The grey trackies, that man did have grey
Looks like
trackies
it.
in the footage.
Might be the
Well,
line.
have a look and remember this.
Mm.
Have a look and remember what I've just shown you. Because, people,
Well, go on Google.
This
Look, well,
image
down
here.
around it and Google it.
so I've got so many tabs, is what I
You
think
map it
I've
out.
seen
Mm.
on that video. A white caravan. She's called a Daria.
Yep, that's the place.
Maybe I'm wrong.
You're not.
Maybe I'm wrong.
You're not. It's not
But
wrong.
again, if I want to go to this tab and we look at the video,
Yeah.
grey trackies, I feel like the image that I showed you was indeed our attacker and our
Yeah.
invader. Could be wrong. But my hunch is
It's
I'm
the right one. Ooh,
It's a
this
suggestion.
one's,
let's see. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section.
thank
Make sure you
you
hit the
very
like button,
much again.
subscribe, all that good stuff.
Another
The
one.
more support you guys are giving at the moment is unbelievable. And I've realised it's our duty
Well, no,
as the
thank
media,
you.
the independent.
Because none of them are doing it. Well, independent medias aren't going to show us shit down because they don't care anyhow. Why would they care about us? The independents. And this is what really
Welcome back to
going
the show.
on.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Good to have you here. In today's
Ah,
video,
thanks
I'm
for
bringing
that.
you one of the most urgent reports I've ever done on the show, which is all about the Islamic takeover of Italy. What was once the Western epicenter of Christendom
Yeah,
has now turned into what is essentially a
and I wonder
caliphate
why all
and
the
a
words
massive
that the
amount
Pope
of
saying is the
Islamic
same as
dominance.
what King
Just
Charles
watch
was
the
saying.
video I'm about to show you from the city of
And then
Turin, which
same
you may
the
know
government
as
saying.
housing the
All the
holy
same.
relics of the
All
Shroud
the
of
Western
Turin.
leaders
It
are
now
all
resembles
doing it the
a
same.
city from the Middle East. It looks like a
And
caliphate. Just watch the
one
video I'm about
thing
to show you
took
and how
down, like where they're
decrepit
shipping
and
all
how
the
dirty
governments
and
out
filthy
to.
the city has become as a result of massive amounts of Islamic migration. Now, after this, we're going to watch another video which exposes ISIS's 10-year plan to infiltrate Europe through mass migration, where they are putting on the boats masses of ISIS fighters so that by the year 2025, 2026, right now, they are in a position to overwhelm these European countries, and the key goal is to take Rome, to take the Vatican. Now, at the same time, the Pope in Rome is doing nothing about this. He's just opened up an Islamic prayer room in the Vatican Library.
Same as King
He's doing all
Charles
these
done in
interfaith
Oxford.
dialogues as if
Dialogue,
the Muslims
faith,
need to teach
this
the
faith,
Christians
that
something.
faith.
And it's followed by one platitude after the next about
Telling
how
us we can
Christians
all
and
learn
Muslims
from
need to work together.
Islam.
At the same time, as Europe is being
Like,
taken
it'll
over
never go
by
together.
these Islamic migrants,
So I don't know
who
what
don't
they're
want to
talking
learn from the
about, I'm gonna
Christians,
say.
they are here to dominate. And
Yeah.
if you knew a single thing about Islam, you would know that this is jihad. They are waging
No, I don't know
war
anything
on you,
about it.
and they're
I know
taking
I do.
advantage
Well, I
of your
did it
naivety and your
We're
niceness.
seeing-
If
we're
their
seeing
plan
to
for
find
Rome
out, aren't we?
succeeds, ISIS says it
We're
will
seeing to
throw
find out.
homosexuals from the top of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. But the chief target is Vatican City in Rome. And the main event, as they see it, will be the beheading of the Pope in St. Peter's Square, broadcast and live streamed to an international audience.
So we're going to cover that as well. There's so much to cover in today's video, but this is truly one of the most important videos because what will happen to Italy and the plan they have for Italy is going to be all over Europe, and we are inching closer by the day to an irreversible tipping point. So please,
I think
watch
the
this
tipping
video,
point
share it with
started.
someone you know. The time to wake up is now.
This is
Let's
when
watch
it
this
starts
video
to
from the
slot
city
people's
of
heads.
Turin. Let's go.
Turin, a city once known for its elegance,
Seems
industry,
funny how they
and
tried to say that
unmistakable
for
Italian
the
character.
beheading in
Grand
there.
piazzas, old
Belfast is
cafes
the only
filled with
beheading when it's
locals,
not.
and
There's been
generations
one
of
in
families
Germany.
building a life beneath the Alps. But walk
And it
through the
seems
city
funny that
today,
probably maybe
and
we
something
don't know
feels
the fact
very
there's been
different.
one some
Not just
beheadings in
economically,
Italy and we don't know about.
spiritually. Over the last decade, mass migration into Italy has transformed entire
Wow.
neighborhoods across Turin. In some areas, the Italian language
Who
barely
knows?
feels dominant anymore. Shuttered
Not saying
stores,
that, but
growing insecurity, rising tensions, and locals quietly admitting that the city that
From
they grew
watching
up in
this, there's
no
been
longer feels
one
like home.
beheading in
And it's not
Belfast,
just in
and
Turin.
there was
Across
beheading in
Europe, more and more
February in
people are
Germany.
beginning to ask the same uncomfortable
But this was
question.
Europe
only
is
what,
in
15
serious
weeks
trouble.
ago?
How much change can a society take before it
In
loses the
June.
culture that made it special in the first place? Today, we're walking through the streets of Turin to see the reality for ourselves.
Oh,
Not
it's
the
only out
polished
2 weeks ago,
version
so I watched a
tourists are
couple of days
sold,
ago. Last week, I
not the
think,
carefully
before the
managed
beheading
image shown to
in
you on
Belfast.
travel YouTube. So
About a
understand
couple
what
of weeks
everyday
ago.
life actually feels like in a city caught between its proud Italian past and an uncertain European future.
Yeah, they look like the young
Isn't it
Italians. I don't know if he is Italian. She is Italian. Okay.
Welcome everybody to Torino, a
I don't know if they are
2,000-year-old
Italian, actually.
European city in the
She looks a
northwest
bit
of
Italian.
Italy.
I don't
Glad
know
to be
if
back
she's
somewhat
looking
here in
Italian.
this beautiful country, and we're starting our day
I don't
off
think he is
with Porta
Italian.
Palazzo, Europe's largest open-air market. So let's do a deep dive into Turin and see if it's just another city that's being crushed
No,
under
but
the
you
foot
did say it
of
was Italy when you
horrific
go into this market
EU
and it
policies.
looks like
Yeah,
middle of Bangladesh
absolutely
or
true.
Africa.
This is not the Italy we all
No, it looks like
know and love.
Bangladesh.
The vast majority of the
Oh,
things that
Africa.
are actually for
State of
sale
the
here
place.
in the market is things
Not
like
very
niqabs,
hygienic
things
people,
like
are they?
hijabs, carpet
I
sellers,
don't like, I
rug
mean, they
sellers,
pretend they're like
any
clean, but
spices,
because their
a lot
houses
of
look
fake
beautiful.
jewelry and stuff like that as well on
They
offer.
don't mind the
So
rubbish
it's
outside
no
the
different than
doorstep.
if you were to go to a
Like this,
souk,
look.
for example,
Look at
somewhere
it. Rubbish
in
everywhere.
Morocco
They don't
or
clean,
somewhere
they
in
sit
northern
around
Africa.
with rats
Quite
and
literally,
shit.
and I mean that wholeheartedly.
How can you sit on the steps amongst all that rubbish
Is this what we
there?
all voted for? Do we want this?
Smell it. I could
Do we
drink
feel
a
good
bit,
now? We're not racist or something? What
As
is this?
usual, in every
No,
other
stay
city
there.
that we show you guys all throughout Europe, the buildings,
A dirty.
the old historical buildings,
Vandalized.
are destroyed, literally destroyed, by graffiti,
Yeah. Chest
trash, a lot of trash,
Everywhere is like migration goes the same
weirdos
thing.
standing around
All the way
screaming
from Turkey all the
into
way to
nothing,
Finland.
basically. And a lot of times, if they even notice that I'm recording,
And there's a
they
couple of
realize
countries
that I'm
that
recording, they'll
don't know
just attack
seem to
you.
be saved. Or seem to have saved themselves.
People rolling in their
Well,
graves. that
they
fought
probably
the war
started like
for the
it all
protection of
started
Europe.
and
I
then
know
they,
Italy had a whole crazy past
realised,
as well with fascism.
you know,
and
like
stuff, but
Poland.
what happened, man?
Literally.
How did we get here?
Europe. You can just watch one of these videos and apply the same thing, same
Yeah.
playbook all over Europe at the
I give Poland a round of applause
It's
for what
insane.
they
Palestine flag.
Yes, I do give Poland a round of applause. Argentina, Hungary,
which is correct to a certain extent, but in the north you can see it
China.
slowly coming in here.
well,
as
I
well,
was going to
so,
say the places where we
in
don't
a few
hear
months
about,
it's gonna
there's
be
where
the
they're
same
having the
situation
migrant
here as you have in
problem.
Palermo.
And I haven't got time to pull up the stats
China,
right
Japan,
now, but I guarantee you the
Russia.
crime rates have gone through the roof. The sexual exploitation
Might be starting
through
a
the
bit
roof.
in Russia,
Young
but
girls
not as
being
much
like
yet.
harassed, sexually exploited.
Uh,
The percentage of prison
Poland,
inmates
Hungary.
through the roof would be Muslims. The same in France. In France, it's about 50 to 80% of all prison
Yeah.
inmates
And I
across
wonder
the
when all
country are
Romanians
Muslims.
and that were
Because
moving,
they're the
you
ones
see.
committing all the crimes.
They were
Look at
all
these
moving because
marketplaces,
these were
right?
moving there.
This looks like you've just stepped into North Africa.
Yeah.
What happened
Pakistan
to
don't
the
seem to be
cultural
having a
identity
migrant.
and the
India
aesthetic
don't have
and
a
the feel
migrant
and the
problem.
safety of Italy?
Uh,
I went there on a honeymoon with my wife in
Saudi
2019,
Arabia, Dubai, and Qatar.
and already
They're
in that
places.
space of
Oh, in
time,
Africa.
this is way worse.
They don't have a
Way worse.
migrant problem. None of them have any of this problem, migrant problem.
In the entirety of Italy,
None of them
I just like to
countries, I
say
mean,
that
they're the
about
countries that
9
we
to
don't hear
10%
about with a migrant
of
problem.
people here are
I
of
wonder why that.
foreign-born origin, but looking around
Obviously,
here,
Poland, I
seems
know why
more
Poland is,
like
because they've done with the,
8
they've
out of
got the
10
borders
Irish, so
shut or
probably
whatever.
80% and 20% locals. That's what I would say here, because it's kind of weird to be a European here, I guess.
Wow, I'm just going to pause and just talk about that. You know, on the show I cover statistics of Europe, and I'll often say, oh, you know, Paris is 15% Muslim, and London
not
is about
higher than
20%
that.
Muslim.
Tripling that.
Or like for the UK overall, the Islamic population is only 6%. But it certainly doesn't feel like that when you're on the ground.
No.
I know that may be anecdotal, but I often wonder just how accurate these numbers are.
So a lot
And
more
how
fun.
they're being measured. Because, like she just said, in Turin, it said that only about 10% of the population are migrants, right? But when you go there, it feels like 80% are migrants and only 10% are natives. Perhaps all the actual Italians are busy working and all the migrants on welfare are out in the streets. That could be a factor, and that is certainly happening. But I wonder how much the governments are kind of playing down the massive amounts of just invasion.
Because they're trying to say that they're giving them an Italian passport, trying to say that they're from Italy.
You know, the EU publishes numbers, and people talk about how many.
So there's not
actual
actually anybody
illegals have
Italian.
come
There's not
in
actually anybody
to Europe
European.
over the last sort
There's
of
nobody that
decade.
the
And
class
I'm
is
telling
in
you
there.
right now, the statistics, the vast majority of
There's
the
no class,
statistics,
no one that
if
the
you
class
come and
is Spanish.
experience these types of cities for yourself, you understand
no
immediately
French,
they're
no
lying
German,
about
no
everything.
Swedish, no
All of
Finns
these
from
numbers that are
Holland
being
and
published.
Finland.
Plus, you can't actually track the numbers of people that don't have documents, that don't have names, that don't
No
have IDs.
Greeks, no
These people
Turks.
arrive here without those required documents. Obviously, they literally
Not many
burn their
Ukrainians.
passports or
Probably
throw
not
their
going to be many
passports away
Russians
or
left after
flush
this
their
war. That's
passports
probably why
down
they're
the
doing
toilet.
this to
You
Russia
can't
and
actually
Ukraine.
track the numbers.
Not
There's
many
no way
Jews,
of accurately saying, 5,
but
50,
all just
20%,
Muslims
etc.,
and
etc.
Africans,
But what is very
literally
tangible
all around the world.
is just coming to places like this market, walking through, taking it all in, and understanding what the demographics are. It's rapidly changing, and it's every day a new city that we're going to.
I think they're even taking over
experiencing these
freaking. I
changes
wonder
firsthand,
what.
and we can tell you guys.
They're probably
during
taking over the population in
Northern
China.
Italy, Southern Italy, Western Europe, all of it.
Even
is-
China's got a less population now,
It's
hasn't it?
going in a very, very, very bad direction.
Even
It's
China,
also the
I bet
situation
China needs to lift the
in
cap on
Europe
their
at the
baby
moment where
situation
a
and
lot of
all.
people obviously get naturalized and their families then become naturalized as well. They receive a local
But
European
don't see
passport
many
and then they
Chinese
will
migrate,
immediately
do they?
be recorded as such. So if, I don't know, somebody from Morocco comes here, they get an Italian passport after a little while, they are going to be recorded as an
Look, that's the
Italian. If they
thing,
commit a crime,
really. Isn't
if
that
they-
really strange
I don't
thing,
know,
really?
whatever they may do, it's going to say
Yeah, it's really
this
strange.
Italian man
Yeah.
did
China,
XYZ, which is of
what
course
has been one of the most
inaccurate, and it's also,
overpopulated countries
kind of
in
changing the numbers
all
quite a
of
bit
the
at the
life,
moment. It's
literally.
unfortunate.
There we go. That's enough.
I was
of the
going to
first
say,
video,
you
but
don't
what we
see any
learned from this is
Japanese
that the numbers are being played
Chinese.
down deliberately, perhaps,
Very,
to make
not
it seem
ones,
like the
but
crimes and the mass migration
not
into
like
Europe is far lower than
whole
it actually is.
streets
Now, the
and
official numbers
town
are
centres
already
full.
extremely worrying.
Yeah,
So, just how bad is it? We don't
very,
know.
because
But when
now
you go
you
to
just
these
see all the
cities
towns,
and you look
cities
around,
full of
And
Africans,
9 out of 10
Pakistanis and
people
Indians.
are
and-
Islamic migrants. You start to wonder,
well, they're not
hold on
even
a
from
second,
Poland or anywhere
which
now.
way round are the numbers? It's
Yeah.
not that 10% are migrants and the rest are native, it's the other way around.
I don't
Now,
even
the
see
next
like I
video
say
we're going to watch
Japanese
was
and
published
Chinese.
10 years ago on YouTube by CBN News,
Very
and
rare.
it is haunting because in the video they talk about this 10-year plan that ISIS has to achieve something in Europe, in Italy, by the year 2025. We are at that point now, and it is absolutely haunting to watch that they have actually achieved basically everything they set out to
And then-
achieve, and more is to come. Watch this.
I mean, they say about the seats, but
The
the
Islamic
Japanese and
State has a
Chinese
plan to conquer Rome. Yes, it sounds crazy, but
a
ISIS
community
believes the
that
conquest
of,
of Rome is central to its mission and necessary to fulfill what Islam teaches was the prophecy of Muhammad and to prepare the return
that's
of the
not a lot of
Muslim
crime.
Messiah, the Mahdi.
The
Robert
Antichrist.
Spencer is
I
the
mean,
author of the
they
Complete
might cause
Infidel's
crime in a
Guide
different
to
way,
ISIS.
but no.
ISIS thinks that Rome is one of its primary goals and that it is in its timetable. It has a timetable wherein, in the next 10 years, by the year 2025, it hopes to bring about Armageddon, the final struggle between good and evil, or
Might be better
between
one
the
for
Muslims and the
Giant for
non-Muslims.
myself
So
in
there we go.
Russia.
So as we're all talking about the downfall of Western civilization, the
I'll be
destruction
safe
of
in
Europe, the
fucking Hong Kong,
Islamification
China.
of Europe, and how each one of these European countries is falling to Islam, what we are actually describing is this Armageddon
And the
plan
reason why I
that
say
ISIS
that is
put
because
into
they're not.
place
I don't think
about 10
they're.
years ago. All right, so this is what we're
I
experiencing.
was going to say I
And
don't
it's
think the
deliberate.
Chinese
And as we're
are
about to get into,
kind
through
of like the
mass
Africans and
migration.
that
This is the
racist
key
and that to
strategic
women.
goal of ISIS and basically all
Well,
jihadis. That's what
I mean, I'm not saying there isn't
cities would
any.
be conquered.
Of course, there's always some.
Constantinople
I'm not
and
saying
Rome.
there is not.
Constantinople today is Istanbul,
But
a Muslim
safer, I
city.
think.
Rome remains to be conquered. Now,
China.
before you laugh, consider that phase one of the Islamic State's plan to take Rome may already be underway, flooding Europe with ISIS fighters under the cover of the refugee crisis.
They're not talking about doing it by conventional armies.
There you go.
They're talking about doing it by overwhelming these lands with sympathizers from within and an influx of other people from outside.
The Islamic State reveals part of its plan in its
Well, I'll tell you what, if
publication
Russia
Black
wants to
Flags
keep
from
Russia as
Rome.
Russia, they need
It will
to
use
fucking
sleeper
let me
cells and
let the
expects to
Russian-
get help from Muslims
They
serving
need to
in
let the
European
Westerns in.
armies and from non-Muslim
They need to let the people from the
sympathizers.
West,
It
white
also
people
wants to
like
fire
me,
missiles into Italy that it has captured
in
on
the
the
country.
battlefield. This is a threat that is
as
hard to be
refugees, because I'm
concerned
going to have
about.
to be a
For Italian
refugee.
and foreign policy expert Emmanuel Ottolenghi.
The concern should be commensurate to the reality
Well, I
of the
suppose if it
threat.
gets any worse,
The
yeah.
Islamic State does not
If you have
pose
to
that
live in
kind of a
Russia, you'll be a
threat today.
refugee.
Well, that didn't age well, did
No,
it?
it didn't.
That's
no.
exactly where we're at today, where we have sleeper cells from ISIS, from Al
Oh my God,
Qaeda,
we've
from
got
all these other
China,
jihad
mate.
groups all across
Does
Europe
it?
in their masses. We know that the UK has admitted to numbers of about 40,000 jihadists living in the UK.
In fact, I'd
which
rather
are
go and live in
constant suspicion.
Pakistan.
Those are the ones we know about.
Because I
those
do
ones
know
they
where
admit
I've got
to.
something
The
to
numbers
read
likely
where
at
actually
least double that.
something
That's
happened.
just for the tiny country of the
At least
UK.
they did
In
something
Man,
about
Italy
it.
and France
Like
and
that,
Germany
I
and
could say
Sweden
when
and Norway and
you
Spain
commit
and Portugal
crime, at least
and
if you
Belgium
crime